What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we need to have a good old look at next month's Psycho Jump magazine. 'Cause you see, ladies and gentlemen, this is a magazine that comes out in Japan, and because it often has promos, I buy this magazine a lot. This next one is going to be my 4th or 5th in a row. And the thing is, they just keep doing cool stuff in them. Like, I just got the latest issue of Psycho Jump yesterday. It came through, landed on my door yesterday. And the reason I picked up the Psycho Jump promo yesterday was because it had the Luffy promo. Psycho Jump this month has a Luffy promo. Go back a couple of months, and what do we see in the December issue? We see the Frankie promo. These are cool promos, and there was actually, a little while ago, we had the Psycho Jump with a pack of 4 promos, which was absolutely ridiculous. That was back in the September issue last year, but that came with a pack of 4 promos, the Luffy, Law, Yamato, and Kaido, if I remember correctly. So Psycho Jump has been good to us. Like, as One Piece fans, we've had a pack of 4 promos, and we've had 2 other promos coming around. If you're a fan of the One Piece TCG and you collect Japanese cards or Japanese promos like I do, then you're going to like Psycho Jump. It's been very, very good to us. But next month, ladies and gentlemen, next month they are laying down the gauntlet. They are saying, hey, you know all that cool stuff we did before? You know how that was really cool? Yeah, this is really cool. Because they're giving away cards including Manga Shanks and the alternate art Roanoa Zoro. But don't jump to conclusions. Did I say that clearly enough? I feel like I said that clearly enough. Because here's the thing. They are giving away those cards. That is an absolutely true statement. But there is a very, very, very important appendix which needs to go alongside it. And that is that it is a 25 card half deck with mini size cards. That's incredibly important. It is not a regular size card or anything like that. We are talking about mini cards. We're talking about half decks. This is very, very important. But let's be perfectly clear about this. It's still Manga Shanks. It's still the alternate art of Roanoa Zoro. That's still a true statement. Now, I'm still under the impression, and I am starting to look a bit silly here, but I'm sticking by my guns, that we're going to keep getting reprints of Romance Dawn, and eventually the reprints will come, prices of cards will fall, the Rush Roanoa Zoro will be outclassed by other red cards released in the future, and then it's going to be a while, but at some point that card will be a sensible price, and I'll be able to pick it up for a sensible price. I adore the Akira Igawa artwork. I want it in my binder. I'm sure that's going to happen one day, but again, we need the reprints to be plentiful, and we need other red cards to supplant it, because it is phenomenally playable, being a free-cost rusher. That's fine. But the fact of the matter is, right now, I'm not getting this card. This card is too expensive. And no, a half-size version of the card is not the same. And I'm not pretending for a second that it is the same. But I am saying it's still an official card. It's still printed by Bandai. It's still presumably going to be on proper cardstock. It's still going to be that phenomenal, amazing artwork. And you know what? It's going to be the best gosh darn proxy in the world. I mean, you can't... Okay. Not in terms of playing it in a deck, it's going to be half size, it's going to be too small. But in terms of actually having a card as a replacement that looks cool, this is going to be the best one. Similarly with Manga Shanks. It's not a real Manga Shanks because it's not the right size and you can't play it in a deck or any of that. But it's still Manga Shanks. It's still an official One Piece card printed by Bandai, presumably on official cardstock. We don't have the actual cards in hand at the moment, which is a little bit sad. That does make me a bit sad. But, you know, the information we've got is it's a 25 mini-size cards that can be used as a half deck. So it's designed to be used as a half deck, so it's almost certainly going to be on proper cardstock, and you can see from the images there that you have to punch them out. But that's okay, ladies and gentlemen. That's okay. And the fact of the matter is, these cards are redonkulously expensive. If we head on over to TCG Player right now, Manga Shanks it's got a market price of like $800. That is a ridiculously expensive card. I will buy more boxes of Romance Dawn one day, but I probably won't ever actually get this Manga Shanks. This is going to be the best one I've got. The Zoro's got a market price of $135, and like I say, when we get lots of reprints and the card is much less playable, I do expect that price to tank. I expect it to be nearer 40 in a couple years' time. Could be wrong, just a prediction. But we literally saw exactly this with the alternate art of Omnimon in the first Digimon set, where it was ludicrously expensive. And then there were, because the set just sold out everywhere. And then there was reprint after reprint after reprint. And then the card got a lot less playable. And now it's just a pretty cheap card you can pick up for like $40 pretty easily. But anyway, point is, proper cards, proper card stock, this is good. And these aren't the only two. Now, the ones you can see clearly there, you got the alternate art of Sanji there from Romance Dawn. This is the really nice one whereby you can take a life and you get 2,000 extra power and 2 rested Don cards. We've got the Luffy from the starter deck. Good old starter deck Luffy. As a fun little side note, this deck does seem to be giving us the best versions. So we've got the alternate art from ones that are in Romance Dawn. But you know, Luffy, there isn't a better version, so this is what we get. This is the one that's got Rush and Don X2 when attacking your opponent can't activate blocker. But there are some other ones that we can see there. We can see a couple extra Luffy on sheet 2. We can see a couple of extra Roanoa Zoro on sheet 3. We can see a couple of extra Sanji on sheet 4. But on sheet 5, we can see Tony Chopper. We can see the 1-cost blocker Tony Chopper. Now, this is the one from the starter deck. Let's be clear. But it's also the alternate art of the one from the starter deck, which is pretty gosh darned awesome. And then I think the last card we can actually see there, the last one, I believe, the top right of sheet 5 there, looks to be the Jinbei from the starter deck. Don X1, when attacking your leader or one of your characters other than this card, gains 1,000 power. Which I'm going to be honest with you, does seem to me to be a little bit of an outlier here. Purely because, you know, the other cards we see there, I mean, Luffy, Shanks, Roanoa, Zoro, Tony Chopper, and Sanji to a slightly lesser extent see a whole bunch of play, whereas this Jinbei, it's a decent enough card, but let's not kid ourselves and think it sees a huge amount of play at the moment. It doesn't. Now, you might be thinking, picking up this magazine and getting this 25-card half deck of mini-size cards is good enough. And that is, incidentally, I am, and you know the deal by now, it's the best way to get this is on Amazon Japan. I may or may not see the listing when it goes up. Expect it to sell out fast. Like really fast, way faster than normal. Psycho Jump doesn't often sell out when it doesn't have a One Piece promo. When it does have a One Piece promo, it will sell out. This should be selling out very, very quickly. You have been warned. Be on your guard. If I see it up for sale on Amazon Japan, I will obviously tweet it out. If any of you see it on order on Amazon Japan, send me a little tweet, would ya? That would be lovely. If you want the Kindle version, it's actually up to pre-order on Amazon Japan right now, but the Kindle version doesn't come with all the cool stuff, so no. Don't do it, ladies and gentlemen. It's a trap. But I told you that alone would be enough. That's not all we get. We also get a Don card. We get an alternate art Don card featuring Luffy. And this is a brand new, never before seen, official Don. And it is a proper Don card. Just like we saw the alternate art featuring Luffy in Romance Dawn. Just like we saw the alternate art featuring Shanks in OPO2. Now we've got this one as well. I love it. I absolutely, flat out love it. And it's a proper Don. Now, it's kind of awkward for me because I want my Don matching, right? I don't think I'm the only one that's saying this. I want all of my Don to match. Having matching Don would make me very, very happy. I'm a man that wants matching Don cards. So, what do I do with this? Like, if I'm in Japan and I want this card, do I buy 10 magazines to get 10 of the Don cards? Is that a clever idea? And the answer is, I don't really know, but it seems kind of cool, right? One thing that is interesting, if we see the other Don that they release, it's things like the Don we see in the Don pack, which is other colours, or the Gold Don, which is just regular Don but gold. The promo Don doesn't usually have pictures like this on. The promo, you know, the fancy Don, the promo Don, usually we see it just being a different colour. We don't usually see like the manga artwork. That is for the alternate art that you get one per set. So to have one of these in a magazine is awesome. Yes, at some point we will get this Don card in English. No, I don't know when that's going to be, but I think it is overwhelmingly likely at this stage that is definitely going to happen. Again, can't say for absolute certain, don't work for Bandai, don't have insider information, etc. But I would be very surprised if this ended up being Japanese only. Don't know how we're getting it. Maybe it's a pre-release promo or something. But we'll be getting it at some point. And just in case that wasn't enough, you're also getting a new play sheet. And it's just going to be, I would imagine, it's going to be just like a foldable printed paper sheet. But that's still pretty cool. As a side note, if we look at the artwork here, it is very clearly the artwork from the upcoming Starter Next 8 and 9, featuring Luffy and Yamato. And it's a play sheet. I mean, look, we don't need this, let's be perfectly clear. This isn't some kind of, you know, absolutely essential thing or anything silly like that. Most of you, I mean, I was at the Treasure Cup at the weekend. People use proper playmats. But is this still an extra cool little play sheet? And the thing is, right, if you put this play sheet in a Japanese magazine, look, I'm learning Japanese, I want a bunch of Japanese magazines to try and read bits of to practice. I don't need much convincing to go and buy Japanese magazines right now. For a One Piece play sheet, I would legit consider buying the magazine. For the Don card, I would 100% buy the magazine just for the Don card. For the mini deck of 25 mini cards, including some of the coolest cards that they've ever released, I could not be much more in on this. The good news is, like I say, it's going to go up on Amazon Japan and it will ship internationally, and that'll be the best way to get it. If I miss that, I will be able to pay a bit above retail and ship it to my proxy address in Japan and sort it out from there, and it will be a pain, but I will do that. The other thing I will do, if I see it on Amazon, I will buy a couple of extra so that I can sell them on at the cheapest possible price. So do check my Twitter. If I see the link, I will tweet the link so that you guys can go and just buy it yourself. But I will also try and buy a couple of extra, see if I can't sell it on nice and cheaply for those of you that missed the link when it goes up. For now, this is, and I don't think this is in the least bit of controversial statement, hands down by a mile the very, very coolest thing we've seen in terms of a magazine promotion. And yes, I am including the 4-pack promo pack in Psycho Jump as well. Yeah, I think at this stage, if you're in Japan, just subscribe to Psycho Jump. It's only like a $4 magazine in Japan. It's really cheap. It is ridiculous how much they're spoiling us. For now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to know what you think about this. I want to know how cool you think it is. As a side note, in English, yes, we're going to get the Don. No, we're almost certainly not ever going to get the half deck. You have been warned. But go nuts in the comment section and be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk about One Piece and a bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, join a Discord and chat with us about whatever you like. It's a lot of fun things. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wasi Plays.